Fridays the bold and the beautiful may look quiet on the surface, but underneath it, danger is building fast. Sheila could be preparing a hidden strike against Taylor and Deacon. Daphne may be starting to fear a heartbreaking future. And Dylan's chilling mystery call could open the door to a secret far darker than anyone expected. The most immediate tension heading into Friday revolves around Sheila, Deacon, and Taylor. On the surface, Sheila's goal seems simple. She still appears to believe that Taylor is the obstacle standing between her and the life she wants with Deacon. If Taylor were somehow removed from the picture, Sheila may think Deacon would eventually drift back toward her. But what makes this story more interesting is that Sheila probably knows a direct confrontation would be too risky. That means her real weapon may be manipulation. If Sheila is truly planning to drive a wedge between Deacon and Taylor, she may not do it with open chaos. She may do it with doubt, with timing, with a lie placed in exactly the right spot. That is often how Sheila is most effective. She knows that breaking a couple apart does not always require a dramatic public attack. Sometimes all it takes is creating one suspicious moment, one misunderstanding, one emotional crack that starts to widen on its own. And that is why Friday matters. If the show leans into that quieter strategy, then Taylor and Deacon may not even realize the attack has already started. They may think they are simply dealing with stress, miscommunication, or pressure from outside forces. But if Sheila is the one guiding that pressure from the shadows, then the real danger is not just what she does. It is how long she can do it before anyone notices. The bigger question is whether Deacon is emotionally strong enough to recognize the trap before it works. Because Deacon has already been pulled in many directions where Sheila is concerned. He knows how dangerous she is. He knows how destructive her obsession can become. But knowing that and resisting it are not always the same thing. Sheila thrives in emotional gray areas. She waits for weakness. She waits for hurt. She waits for a moment when someone wants comfort more than clarity. And if Friday plants even one seed of tension between Deacon and Taylor, viewers may need to start asking a bigger question. Is Sheila trying to ruin this relationship, or replace it? That difference could decide everything. While Sheila's storyline may bring the suspense, Daphne's may bring the ache. There are growing signs that Daphne could be developing a painful intuition about her inability to have children. And what makes this so emotional is that nothing may be fully confirmed yet. This is not necessarily a moment of medical certainty. It may be something more fragile than that, a fear she cannot shake, even while everyone around her is trying to stay optimistic. That emotional space can be brutal. Because when a character starts to sense that her dream may not come true, reassurance does not always feel comforting. Sometimes it feels distant. Sometimes it feels like other people are speaking from hope while she is living inside dread. Carter will likely continue trying to calm her down, and that absolutely fits his role in this story. He may tell her it is too early to panic. He may remind her that they are only at the beginning of this journey. He may genuinely believe that everything can still work out, but the deeper issue is whether Daphne can emotionally receive that comfort. That is where the real tension may be building. If Daphne starts feeling that her body is failing her, or that her future is slipping away before it even begins, then Carter's support may not be enough to erase that fear. In fact, it could create a new layer of pressure. Because the more loving and patient he is, the more terrified she may become of disappointing him. And in soap storytelling, that kind of fear rarely stays contained. It can turn into insecurity. It can turn into distance. It can turn into desperate choices made not out of cruelty, but out of panic. That is why this story may be more than just a baby preparation subplot. It may be the beginning of a much more emotional unraveling, especially if Daphne starts comparing what she wants with what she fears she may never have. Friday may only give us small hints of that pain. But sometimes the quietest moments are the ones that tell us the storm has already begun. Then we get to the storyline that may carry the biggest mystery of all. Dylan and that disguised voice on the phone. The line itself is chilling because it is so simple. Someone tells Dylan that they still have unfinished business. That alone is enough to shift her storyline from intriguing to dangerous. Because a call like that does not sound random. It sounds personal. It sounds like history. And it sounds like someone believes Dylan owes them something. That opens the door to several possibilities, and every one of them comes with consequences. The darkest theory is that this somehow connects back to Luna Nozawa's death. If Dylan was involved in any way, directly or indirectly, then this phone call could be the start of a blackmail plot, a cover-up crisis, or a reckoning she thought she had escaped. Maybe she was paid to do something. Maybe she witnessed something. Maybe she knows who really crossed the line and has been protecting that secret ever since. That is what makes this twist so effective. Dylan does not have to be the killer for this story to become explosive. Sometimes in soaps, the most dangerous position is not being guilty. It is knowing the truth. And if that is where Dylan is standing, then the caller may hold enough information to destroy her future. That would instantly transform her from a supporting presence into a character at the center of a much darker web. But then there is the Remy factor, and that may be where the story becomes even more interesting. Some fans already suspect the disguised voice could belong to Remy Price. If that is true, then the phone call is not just a threat. It is a reveal waiting to happen. It suggests a past connection that Dylan has not fully explained yet. Not a casual one, not a minor coincidence, a real secret. And if Remy and Dylan do share hidden history, then Friday may be the moment the show starts turning mystery into structure. Because once a secret link is introduced, the next question becomes unavoidable. How deep does it go? This is where the speculation gets especially juicy. If Remy is tied to Dylan, then the show may be building toward more than a personal reveal. It may be building toward a family reveal, a long-buried connection, or some larger twist linking Dylan to one of Los Angeles' core families. That possibility matters because it would immediately raise Dylan's importance in the canvas. She would no longer feel like a newer character simply finding her place. She would become someone whose past was planted off-screen for a reason. And that changes how we read everything. Her mysterious call, her tension, her guarded behavior, even the idea of her trying to move on with normal life suddenly starts to feel suspicious. Because characters with secrets often try hardest to appear normal right before the truth catches up to them. The mention of Remy returning only adds to that feeling. His reappearance does not seem accidental. It feels timed. It feels like the show is ready to reopen something unresolved. Whether that unresolved piece is emotional, criminal, or familial remains to be seen, but the fact that Remy is back suggests Dylan's story is not slowing down. It is entering a new phase. There is also something fascinating about the idea that Dylan may continue trying to settle into everyday life while this hidden pressure keeps building behind the scenes. Maybe she becomes closer to Dickie. Maybe there is a roommate set up. Maybe the show gives her small, grounded scenes that make her seem more stable. But that may be exactly what makes the mystery stronger. Because the closer Dylan gets to normalcy, the more devastating it will be when the truth tears through it. And if Remy is the one holding the match, then Friday may only be the beginning. As Friday's episode gets closer, the real danger may not be one huge shock all at once. It may be three separate problems quietly gaining momentum at the same time. Sheila may already be setting Taylor and Deacon up for a painful split without them seeing it coming. Daphne may be approaching an emotional turning point that could leave lasting damage. And Dylan's mysterious phone call may be the first sign that her past is far more dangerous than it appears. That is what makes this episode feel so intriguing. The show may not reveal everything yet, but it could begin positioning each story for a much bigger explosion ahead. So what do you think? Is Sheila already pulling strings behind the scenes? Is Daphne heading toward heartbreaking news? And is Remy the one pulling Dylan back into a secret she cannot escape? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more bold and the beautiful spoiler breakdowns with dramatic analysis, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.